Look, when she suddenly goes silent, when she stops initiating contact, when that vibrant spark in her gaze starts to dim, your mind jumps straight to the darkest conclusions. She's finished with you. She's found another guy. You must have screwed something up. But what if all those signals you're picking up are actually the total reverse of what you're assuming? What if the cause of her withdrawal isn't fading emotions, but feelings that are too fierce, too raw, too all-consuming for her to manage? And here's the twist that's really going to scramble your thoughts. There's one particular behavior she exhibits that leads every man to believe it's all over. Yet it's actually her soul's desperate cry that she adores you so profoundly it's ripping her to pieces. I'll reveal exactly what that is shortly. But first, it's essential to grasp a key aspect of how women handle profound emotions. Because when a woman's affection grows overwhelmingly strong, she doesn't always respond with increased warmth. Sometimes, she responds with absolute stillness. And if you handle it incorrectly, you'll shatter the very thing she's fighting so hard to safeguard. I'm going to dissect the subtle indicators that show she's not walking away. She's fracturing under the weight. And I'll outline the precise reaction that could either rescue the whole situation or demolish it permanently. This isn't fluffy speculation. It's about decoding the emotional cues that the majority of men overlook entirely. Stick around, because right around the 5-minute point, I'll uncover why the women who love the most intensely often endure their pain alone. And that insight will transform your perspective on every relationship moving forward. So, let's plunge into what most men get utterly wrong. The genuine reason behind her silence and why it could indicate she's more invested than ever before. When love turns into an unbearable burden, the reality of her quietude. Recall how it all began. She was unguarded, chuckling at your humor, opening up about her ideas, eagerly anticipating your time together. It all seemed so natural. Then a change occurred. Not slowly, but abruptly. She grew more reserved. Her excitement waned. She began turning inward. And despite your efforts, you couldn't reignite that glow. Your initial reaction? Alarm. You dissect every exchange, relive every instance, questioning your missteps. So, you double down. You initiate more often. You inquire if she's all right. You attempt to mend whatever issue you imagine is there. And inexplicably, she withdraws even more. Here's the actual truth, and it might seem entirely counterintuitive initially. When a woman tumbles into deep, genuine love, it doesn't always resemble the idyllic romance she envisioned. At times, it feels like being submerged underwater. Why? Because pouring your entire being into loving someone grants them the ability to devastate you. And she's aware of this. She's experienced it previously. She's loved and seen it fall apart. She's bared her soul and ended up in ruins. She's known the choking agony of committing fully to someone who ultimately departed. And now, with you, she's slipping back into that same frightening territory. A place where she cares more than she intended, where her joy hinges on another person, where a single error could obliterate her. But here's the revelation that's going to stun you. There's a well-documented psychological phenomenon known as emotional overload. And when it strikes, her mind actively shields her from her own sentiments. Pay close attention, as this clarifies all the behaviors you're observing. When her affection escalates to extreme levels, her nervous system activates a self-defense mechanism. It's not that she desires to feel less, it's that her psyche can't cope with feeling this intensely. Her body pumps out stress chemicals, her mind fixates on catastrophic possibilities, and her whole being urges, erect barriers, shield yourself, don't allow this to ruin you. So, what does she do? She falls silent. She forges emotional separation. She ceases to confide. She stops initiating, not due to indifference, but because her care is so immense that it's fracturing her internally. This isn't a deliberate decision, it's instinctual survival. And here's the harsh reality. The more profound her emotions become, the more severe this retreat grows. So if you're seeking confirmation of her true love, you can't rely on how tightly she's drawing you closer. You must observe the indicators of her crumbling while striving to maintain composure. But there's one indicator that's so agonizing, so soul-crushing, that once I describe it, you'll finally comprehend her actions. I'll disclose it soon. But first, reflect honestly. Have you observed how she appears composed, even joyful, until it's just the two of you? How she can be giggling with friends, but turns mute when alone with you? If that's the case, continue, because it doesn't signify what you believe. The indicator that confirms she's suffering quietly. Before proceeding, smash that like button if you're prepared for the unvarnished truth. Because what I'm about to divulge contradicts every romantic notion you've been taught about love's appearance. Here's the indicator that reveals she's internally shattering from loving too fiercely. And it's going to sting to learn. She turns emotionally neutral around you while appearing utterly normal with others. Not furious, not theatrical, just vacant in your presence. Her smiles fade, her words dwindle. The vitality that once surged between you feels extinguished. Yet you witness her chuckling with pals, updating social media, carrying on as if all is well. And here's why this dooms most relationships. When a woman is only casually interested, she remains steady. She interacts with you similarly to everyone else, polite and superficial. But when she's sunk so far that it alarms her, she begins to segment her life. She maintains lightness in other areas while channeling all her intense emotions toward you or thoughts of you. Why? Because you're the sole individual capable of wounding her. Others are harmless, but you're the danger. Not from any fault of yours, but because your loss would annihilate her. So her mind enacts something harsh. It desensitizes her in your company to prevent overwhelming sensations. Experts term this protective disengagement, and it only emerges when someone's battling to endure their own surging emotions. Most men interpret this as her disengaging, concluding she's finished, that she no longer cares. But she's enacting the precise antithesis. She's experiencing so much that her sole recourse is to experience nothing. Now here's where it intensifies further, and this is the element most men fail to detect. There are 3 additional vital indicators that signal she's submerged in unexpressible emotions, and the third is so precise, so irrefutable, that if you spot it, you'll know unequivocally she's not abandoning you. She's striving to endure her love for you. I'll guide you through each one, but focus intensely on the third. As if she's displaying it, you're at a pivotal moment. Manage it correctly and you could rescue her. Mishandle it and she'll vanish entirely. The 3 indicators she's overwhelmed by love. Indicator 1. She halts sharing her experiences but monitors yours meticulously. She once recounted her daily events, her reflections, her challenges. Now, when probed, she offers zilch. It was okay. Not much. Just exhausted. But here's the giveaway. She recalls every detail about you. That casual mention from 3 weeks back, she remembers. That anecdote you began but left unfinished, she's awaiting the conclusion. This is what counselors label uneven closeness. She's sealing herself off while remaining fully attuned to you. Why? Because she's guarding against vulnerability while clinging desperately to every fragment of you available. She needs to confirm you're fine. She yearns to comprehend you, but she can't hazard allowing you to comprehend her, as that would acknowledge your dominance over her feelings. And here's the aching truth. If you abruptly ceased sharing, if you mirrored her withdrawal, she'd collapse, because your world is the anchor she's gripping amid her internal chaos. Indicator 2. She scrutinizes every minor exchange excessively. You text with 1 fewer emoji, and she unravels. You delay a response by an hour, and she persuades herself you're waning. You reply, sounds good, rather than sounds great, and she perceives dismissal. Here's the key insight. This isn't mere insecurity. It's the mark of someone whose emotional universe now pivots on your tiniest cues. When you're indifferent to someone, their actions don't faze you. But when you're entrenched so deeply it aches, every detail morphs into a catastrophe. She's not theatrical. She's revealing that her nervous system is perpetually in alert mode regarding you. Each interaction seems like the potential instant you deem her unworthy. Every dialogue feels like an exam she might flunk. She's not overanalyzing from madness. She's doing it because your loss equates to her demise. Indicator 3. She imposes arbitrary rules and limits. This is the crucial one. Heed it. She abruptly sets odd restrictions. Let's avoid daily texts. We need individual space. We're together too often. Yet you sense she craves the contrary. Here's the reality. She's attempting to reclaim authority in a scenario where she feels utterly helpless. By enforcing distance, by erecting barriers, she's shielding herself from her greatest dread, needing you. When a woman erects walls that clash with her emotions, she's not repelling you. She's salvaging herself from the anguish of loving beyond her comfort zone. And here's the poignant reality. Each barrier she builds wounds her more than you. She's not aiming to penalize you. She's already self-punishing for her depth of care. But now we reach the pivotal segment where most men botch it disastrously. And you must listen closely, as this decides if you become her haven or validate her every terror. The singular response that alters all. Upon realizing she's not departing but disintegrating, your urge will be to repair it, to assure her fear is needless, to vow no harm, to urge her reopening. Halt. Avoid all that. Here's why. When emotionally flooded, even affectionate reassurance registers as coercion. She can't reason her path to safety. Her nervous system requires autonomous readjustment. So, what to do? Embody the antithesis of her fears. Don't pursue during her retreat. Don't insist on clarifications amid silence. Don't retaliate with your own detachment when she seeks space. Remain available without overpowering. Inquire gently without probing. Appear without smothering. Demonstrate via steady deeds, not declarations, that you're steadfast yet not needy. When she's mute, offer matching quietude with sporadic soft affirmations of presence. When distant, honor it without full reciprocity. Exhibit emotional steadiness. Prove her withdrawal doesn't provoke your frenzy or flight. This is secure bonding demonstration. You're not altering her, you're illustrating safety's essence. And here's the covert wisdom most men miss. You can't compel trust, but consistent safety can erode fear over time. There's one final essential element, determining if she dismantles those barriers or departs eternally. Hang on, as the forthcoming decides salvation or loss. The reality of painful love. I recognize this is tough to fathom. When you cherish someone, you desire their overt display, openness, presence, accessibility, but occasionally, the profoundest love masquerades as the most tormenting conduct. She's not spurning you from apathy. She's fortifying against her immense care. If you perceive that, if you reply with empathy over irritation, you become exceptional. You become the one she can ultimately trust fully. This transcends reclaiming her. It's about recognizing that authentic love